Hello, I'm Anthony, and this is Still Earth. Nice to have your company, and I hope you're feeling fit and well. Truly, I do. I hope you're feeling fit and well. And this moment, in this sort of era, this time of the coronavirus, fit and well seems to be a really, really big deal. I mean, we get blasted with information about the coronavirus like 17 trillion times a morning. So it's hard not to know that something out of the ordinary is actually going on. And I'm being a little bit lighthearted about that. I know in many cases it's much more serious than that. I personally know people who don't have a job anymore that did have a few days ago and even last week. So I know it's serious. But for myself, having not had any real identification with coronavirus, I've been sitting somewhere between overreaction and complete underreaction. I don't really know how I feel about all of this and where I stand on all of this, if there is anywhere indeed to stand. And I wonder if a lot of us are on this little rubber band, this little tightrope at the moment, and the little tightrope is stretching tighter and tighter and tighter. I think I'm a pretty even sort of a guy, but 2 nights ago we had a knock at the door at about 10 past midnight, and a couple of police officers were standing there, and I was really quite shocked. It's not a common occurrence at the North household to have police at the door in the middle of the night. So somewhere between trying to race around and find some clothes to put on and get to the front door, I had all of these thoughts going through my mind. And of course we got 5 kids, so there was that as well. So I opened the door, and the police were really, really good people, and all they wanted to do was check on our middle daughter, Kate, who a couple of weeks ago has returned from Lombok. She's a yoga teacher over there. And she's self-isolated for the last 14 days without any worries. We have separate rooms. That's all fine. They just wanted to have a chat to her and make sure she was doing all the right things and basically behave, I guess. But it was a pretty good event. At the end of the day, even though it was a bit of a shock, really it was quite a good and pleasant event. The officers were wonderful. We had a couple of laughs, told a couple of yarns, and then they went on their way. It was really a pretty nice event. I went back to bed. Normally I would have fallen to sleep within seconds, but 3 hours later I'm still wide awake. I'm still thinking about everything's going through my mind. And here's me thinking that, this coronavirus really hadn't touched me realistically at all, other than the self-isolation, and really I'm pretty good with that. It's not a big deal. So it got me thinking about how we as humans react when we get in these situations, which are so fluid. I mean, we're trying to make life decisions. Some of us are trying to make life decisions right now, big, hard, solid, concrete decisions about what our life is going to look like in a week or a month or a year or 2 years, in a situation where the whole game is so fluid that it changes by the hour. It's almost impossible to get your head around that kind of deal. I need to make a life decision. I've lost my job. I know someone who is very sick. I'm worried about my mum or dad. I'm worried about this and that. I'm worried about my family. Should I be at work? Shouldn't I be at work? Should they be at work? Shouldn't they be? We've got all of this stuff going, and we're all trying to make an opinion or have a thought about that in a situation where we can't possibly be right. The only way we can get this right is to have a decision that we make for ourselves, the decision that suits us. And then we look at all the other stuff around it with some sort of kindness. I know right now I've been reacting in the last week in a much more aggressive way than I have for many, many years. I have been shorter of temper, shorter on patience, and a whole lot of things. And that dismays me. But I find that that's sitting on top of the rubber band, and perhaps you're not there, but I've found, even though I've distanced myself from the media, because I understand after having worked in it for many, many years that the media brings you the worst first. So I distance myself from that very, very quickly. And if you haven't yet, and this stuff is starting to wind you up, then I suggest step away and check it maybe for 5 minutes at night, just so you know what the rules are tomorrow, so don't break any, because there's lots of new stuff coming out. If you can do that, then step away as much as possible and start finding a way to back yourself down. If you don't know someone personally who has got this virus, then we're still reasonably far removed from it. That's not saying that we shouldn't be responsible. I'm not making a comment about how you should or I should react to this virus. I'm just saying that maybe there's some tools in our bucket that we should now start to bring out to give us a little perspective and a little breathing space in this moment of absolute information. I believe we've probably heard that word coronavirus 7 trillion or 8 trillion times. That's not an official figure, but you can count them yourself. None of that stuff, if you keep getting slammed with it, is going to make your rubber band loosen up. It's just going to make it tighter and tighter and tighter until you get so fearful you're really struggling to make solid decisions of any kind. And then at that point you have to start to be really kind to yourself and all of those around you. Understand that you are wound more tightly right now than you have been for some time. That's more than likely true. And I want to make you this offer right at this point. You're more than welcome, free of charge, to contact Andrea or I here at Still Earth anytime. You can PM us anytime you wish, or contact us through the website or whatever the case may be, just to have a chat. We can give you some tools so you can actually start settling back into this thing and allowing yourself a little bit of space and a little bit of breath. We'll happily talk through your situation if you wish, or if you just want to know how to settle back and how to have a mindful practice in this time of almost mindlessness, then let us offer you that service for free. Contact us if you wish. I hope you remain fit and well. Until we meet again, you have a good one. Take it easy on the turns.